you going?
I have an appointment with Mr. Levy.
You have what?
An appointment with Mr. Levy.
Oh. All right, read along. Why, you young whippersnapper, you.
All right. You open Monday matinee. What's next?
The waltz, please.
Did you know that I had a lovely dog?
Where is he?
He's out on the farm chasing the cows around.
What kind of a dog is he? A bird dog?
No, a bulldog. Who was the lady I saw you walking with on the street yesterday?
That was no lady. That was fun.
All right, that's enough.
Well, you ain't seen the whole act yet, Mr. Levy.
All right, I've seen enough. The balance is like that, it's rotten. Get out.
Oh, yeah? That's what you know about it.
Honest, Mr. Levy, the act never misses in front of an audience.
Now, my audience will never miss your act. Get out.
The act is too good for you. It's over your head, see?
Oh, what's the use?
What's the use? Nothing. Listen here. Why, we panicked them. We stood them on their ears at the Union Square.
All right, go back to Union Square and spend them on the ears. I don't care.
You don't know a good act when you see one. What do you think of that?
I like your act, Miss.
Thanks. Too bad you're not Mr. Levy.
I guess you need the job, too, don't you?
What does that make you, a mind reader?
No, but it gives me an idea. I could use you in my act.
Your act?
Sure.
I never picked you for a trooper. I guess I should apologize, Mr. Wallace, for never having heard of your act. But then I guess you never heard of me either. I'm Sally Sunshine of Storm and Sunshine.
Oh, I'm glad to know you, Miss Sunshine.
Likewise. Say, what is your act?
Oh, I spin ropes and tell funny jokes. You see, that's where you'd come in. You could ask me the question, and I'll tell you the answers.
Well, I'll try anything once.
All right? Come on.
Yeah, and that ain't all. When you see Storm and Sunshine up in lights in front of Tony Pastor's on Broadway,
Get out.
then you'll realize what a sap you were for turning them down.
Get out. I want to
You...
Hello, Mr. Levy.
Well? Oh, you're the cowboy, eh?
Artist, Mr. Levy.
Well, I got enough artists around here now. What I want is novelty. Well, I'll take a chance on you.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Levy.
All right, you open the show the Monday's matinee. Your act don't flop, you can play the week out.
What do you mean, open the show?
Well, audience will be walking in. At least they won't be walking out on him.
Oh, why don't you give him a chance? Do you want him to die standing up?
All right. You're going to do spot.
Say, what is it to you?
Well, you see, Miss Sunshine is in my act.
She's what?
Oh, she's in your act, huh? Mm-hmm. All right. If I buy the act, I'll pay only one salary. All right.
Say, so you're going to walk out on the act, eh? You're going to leave your partner flat?
Now keep your shirt on, Freddie, till the laundry gets it. Meet Mr. Wallace.
How are you?
How do you do?
I was only trying to help your partner out.
Say, she don't need any help. Not from no cowboy.
I'm not a cowboy. That is, anymore. You see, that's only just part of my act.
Yes, he spins ropes and tells funny jokes.
Yeah, why don't he make me laugh?
Maybe I can. Maybe I can use you in my act, too.
You what?
I thought maybe you might like to work...
Say, get this, fella. Freddie Storm don't need any work from anybody's act. Why, you'd be lucky to be working for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything wrong.
That's just the trouble with you guys. You're too dumb to know better.
I said I was sorry. Now, don't get tough, because I can get mad, too. And when I get mad...
You better run along, Freddie. Mr. Wallace and I have a lot of rehearsing to do if we're going to open Monday.
Go ahead. I'll be right on hand Monday when you open. And close.
So you're not married to that guy, are you?
Married to him? I should say not. He's only my dancing partner. Don't you worry about Freddie. He takes himself a little too seriously, that's all.
I don't blame him. You've got to be serious about your art.
Sure. Ain't it the truth? Well, don't you think we better get busy on the act?
Uh-huh. Come on.
Oh, how do you do, Mrs. McTavish? How's your rheumatism?
It would be
much better if I didn't have to do so much chasing around after you actors, behind in your rent.
Well, you see, the trouble is, my partner takes care of the finances. He's not at home now. If you'll come around later,
Ernie! Hey, where did you hide the rent?
The rent. How you do, Mrs. McCavish? Can you beat that? I thought he was out all the time. He must have been asleep.
Well, there won't be either of you sleeping around here much longer if you don't pay me up.
Now, look, Mrs. McTavish, it was my fault that I sprained my ankle just when we were ready to open over at Brooklyn for Hyde and Beeman. Isn't that right, Ernie?
Oh, it seems to me that either one or the other of you always has a loose spring or sprains something every time you say you get a booking. Well, I'll give it till the first of next week, then out you go.
Oh, Mrs. McTavish, you can't do that. Have a heart.
Ah, Mrs. McTavish, this is indeed a treat. How fair you look today.
Never mind your pretty speeches. I suppose you know what I want. The point is, do I get it?
Alas, how poor are they that have not patience.
The more patience I have, it's the poorer I'm getting. Tell that to you, Mr. Shakespeare.
But surely, madam, you're not the one to ask your pound of flesh.
All I want is what's coming to me. And if I don't get it, for the first of the week, it's out you go, bag and baggage. Only I'll be keeping the baggage.
But, madam, you must respect my position
Mr.
in
Thorne,
the theater.
just a minute. You come right here.
Hi, Mr. Clavis.
I suppose you got that booking you told me this morning you were going to get?
Oh, now, listen. You couldn't expect Storm and Sunshine to work for the salary that Simon Legree of a manager wanted to pay. What does he think we are? A couple of benefit performers? I told him, no, sir. I just couldn't hurt my prestige.
Whatever that is, it'll hurt you worse than me. If you don't pay up for the first of next week, it out you go, the whole caboodle of you.
Oh, now, Mrs. McCavish, you wouldn't do that.
What is this, a convention?
No. Just trying to find out whether we walk out or get thrown out.
Oh, it's that bad, is it? I was just going to look for you, Mrs. McTavish.
Oh, were you? You're usually looking the other way when you see me coming. I suppose you want to tell me that you've got so much prestige, it'll get hurt if you go to work.
Of course not, Mrs. McTavish. You see, the manager said that he couldn't use our act, but,
Oh, he couldn't, eh?
Go ahead. You're fixing up everything just great. You are.
What have I done?
It's time you and your partner did something about paying your rent.
I'm going to work with Mr. Wallace's act. He wanted to meet you.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do? Miss Sunshine said I might be able to get a room here.
Oh, she did. I suppose she told you the rent was payable in advance. I have enough deadbeats on my hands now without trying to do the whole work of the Actors Fund.
I've got money.
Oh, well, in that case, perhaps I'll be able to show you a room. There'll be a lot of them empty next week, and then I can move you into the best.
And whom have we the honor of meeting?
Oh, Mr. Wallace, this is Mr. J. Talbot Thorndyke. The Mr. Thorndyke.
A pleasure, sir, to welcome you into the bosom of this happy family.
It's a pleasure to me, Mr. Thorndyke.
Thank you.
We're the Tupper twins. I'm Ernie.
I'm Eddie.
I'm glad to know you, Eddie and Ernie.
You know Freddie.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. You've heard of me. I'm Bozo Watson, the tramp comedian.
Mostly tramp.
The original, Mr. Watson. Say, everything that Nat Wills ever knew, he copped from me. Put it here.
Well, I'm not glad to know you.
Come along, Mr. Wallace.
Don't forget our little dinner.
I won't.
I'll see you all later.
So you're going to dinner with him, are you?
You bet she is.
Up, let not thy angry passions arise, my friend.
$4 a week in advance.
Well, you don't happen to have anything that's just a little bit cheaper, do you? You see, well, I'd like to make my money last until I go to work next week.
Well, in that case, I might make it $3 to you.
Well, that'd be fine.
Now, as regards to the rules in this house, no loud singing in the bathroom.
I don't sing.
Well, by that I mean, don't stay in there too long.
Yes, ma'am.
And don't be too extravagant with the hot water.
Yes, ma'am.
And be sure and turn the lights out when you're through.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you suppose, my dear, that Mr. Wallace would enjoy a home-cooked meal for a change?
I don't see why not.
I was thinking that...
I was thinking the same thing before you thought of it. Leave it to me.
Ah, what a divine creature is woman.
May I come in?
Sure.
How do you like it?
Fine. I certainly was lucky to meet you. You know, I'd never known there was any place like this just for the profession.
Maybe you'd be luckier, kid, if you'd never known there was such a thing as a show business.
You don't mean that.
Who is this?
My dad.
You'd know him for a Westerner anywhere. What did you think of this idea of your being an actor?
Oh, you couldn't expect him to understand just how an artist feels. But he won't mind when he reads about me being a big success on Broadway.
You've got it bad, haven't you?
Got what?
Whatever it is that makes actors. Say, what put this stage idea in your head anyway?
I was just cut out to be an actor, that's all. You know, you just can't help yourself when you feel that way about it. You understand.
Oh, sure. But show business isn't all fun, kid.
Well, I don't expect to be a success without lots of hard work.
It's looking for work that's the hardest part. Say, what I came in to ask you about was, how would you like to spread a big seed for the gang?
Oh, that'll be fine.
I knew you'd like it. You're going to get along great with them, even with Freddie. He was measles to me at first, too, but you get immune.
All right. I'll go out and get the food if you'll help me fix it.
That's a bargain.
Violet blossom down, violet blossom, make it good and brown. Violet blossom down, won't we have a good old time? Blossom on the ground. Violet blossom down, violet blossom, make it good and brown.
I'll never forget you for this.
I'll never let you forget me.
Freddie,
What?
there's no time like the present.
I guess you're right. You know, Wallace, I had you all wrong. I called you Cowboy, and I want to apologize. From now on, as far as I'm concerned, you're a trooper.
The same goes for me, Freddie.
That's the spirit, my boy, that's the spirit.
Okay, sure, we might as well all be friends.
Well, seeing that we're friends now, let's put it there.
Fine.
A bit of a raspberry.
Hey,
It's too bad that cowboy had to run out of coin.
Say, what are you beefing about?
I'm not beefing.
Then stop cracking around here. I think the boy was great. He spent his last dollar on us. And even right now, he's taking his last quarter and going over to the saloon there with Shakespeare. And you know Shakespeare with those copious pockets of his. And the free lunch.
You think, my boy, we could afford another beer?
Sure, I'll buy another.
Bartender, another beer, please. Your good health, my boy.
This is sure going to be a red-letter day for me, Mr. Thorndyke.
Ah, the first time that you step foot on a stage, my boy. 'Tis a thrill that comes but once in a lifetime.
Hi, Cowboy. Who'd have thought a couple of old strays would run into one another here in New York?
You got me wrong, partner. I'm an actor.
Well, you sure had me fooled. Jeffrey's my name.
I'm glad to know you, Mr. Jeffrey. Wallace is mine.
Oh, Tad Wallace. Breath of the West, huh?
That's right.
That ought to be good.
I want you to meet my friend, Mr. J. Talbot Thorndyke.
Honored, sir.
How do you do, Mr. Thorndyke?
I guess you've heard of us.
Why,
You see, Mr. Thorndyke is that great Shakespearean artist.
Oh, yeah. Now I know, sure. You see, I unloaded a herd of beef in Chicago yesterday and thought of just dropping up here in New York and whoop it up a little and see the shows. funny thing running into you act folks right off the bat.
Say, my partner and I are going to open up the Third Avenue Theater this afternoon. That's Miss Sally Sunshine. She's good, too.
Say, I might go and see it.
Well, in case you do, drop her off the stage door afterwards. Just tell them you want to see me.
Thanks. Say, I'll buy a drink.
Oh, thanks just the same, but I got to be getting back to the theater. We better be getting along.
See you later, Mr. Wallace.
Goodbye.
So long, Mr. Thorndyke.
Good day, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, in my modest way, I'll endeavor to entertain you in the way the cowboys play. For I am a cowboy from spaces wide and open, and the first thing I'll do is a little fancy roping. If you please, Professor.
Saving my life.
Well, that's all right, lady. He wasn't any good anyway.
Oh, then you know my husband.
What? You mean the man I shot is your husband?
Yes, but that's all right. I have another one.
Oh, so you're a bigamist.
No, I'm a Republican.
Lady, did you know that I'm a fancy shot?
No, are you?
Mm-hmm. You know, I can go through a hat and get a dime.
Oh, that's nothing. I can go through my husband's pockets any time and never miss a dollar.
Lady, maybe you can answer this one for me. Do you know what kind of a horse I ride at night?
No. What kind of a horse do you ride at night?
I ride a
hobby horse.
Well, maybe that's your horse running away out there. Yeah, it's your horse. You better go and get him. I'll entertain the folks while you're gone.
All right.
Blown up in those lines in our act.
Oh, that's all right, kid. I was like that myself when I started on the stage. Forget it.
Say, why is there a law against shooting actors like you?
He'll be all right the next show.
Sure I will. The next show? There'll be no next show for you. Don't you understand anything? You're just a couple of hams, that's all you are.
Say, listen here. You can talk that way to me if you want to, but you can't say that to her. She's a trooper, that's what she is. And you take back what you said to her.
Oh, you should tell me what to do, huh? Say, don't you understand? You're through. You're fired. Get out.
Not before you take back what you said to Miss Sunshine.
Was that so? Have I got to throw you out of here?
You think you can? Well, try and do it.
You think I can? Come here, Biz. Pete, come here. Come on, throw this ham out in the alley.
Oh, you need help, huh?
Keep quiet. Don't you see? Oh, don't you see? Keep quiet.
Come on, Cowboy, let's go.
You know what, Mom? Keep
quiet. That'll teach you a lesson on how to talk to ladies. Come on, honey.
How'd you like New York?
Great city.
Eh?
Great city.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here come those actors you're looking for.
I just couldn't help it, that's all. They started.
Oh, I wouldn't feel that way about it.
Oh, hello, Mr. Jeffrey.
Oh, hello, Mr. Wallace.
Did you catch the act?
Well, tell you the truth, I didn't. See, I was a little delayed in getting here.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well, I thought I'd drop around and see you anyhow.
Well, I'm glad you did. This is my partner, Miss Sunshine, Mr. Jeffries. He's from the West.
How do you do?
I'm very pleased to meet you, miss. By the way, are you folks through for the afternoon?
We're through, all right.
That's fine. How would you like to come over to the Astor House and have dinner with me?
The Astor House?
Why,
Well, we'd like that, kid, wouldn't we?
sure.
Well, that's fine.
Oh, there's a cab, Mr. Jeffries.
What they want is a rep show. We're a variety troupe.
I beg your pardon, but I am no variety actor.
Of course not, Mr. Thorndyke. But the rest of us.
Oh, who's going to know the difference in Kansas City?
Well, we don't know any shows.
Ain't Shakespeare got a trunk full of them? He can dig out anything from East Lynn to the Great Train Robbery. It's a pipe for us.
And pray, who will we use for actors?
Well, we could play the parts.
Well, I fear me it will be a strenuous task, making actors out of you folk.
Huh?
But I will try.
Well, there'll be no cinch making a hoofer out of you.
I beg your pardon. But
Well,
in my youth, I tripped the light fantastic, passing well.
What did he say he tripped?
Silence.
well, I'm game. How about you, kid?
Well, I don't know. Kansas City's an awful long ways off. And it sort of seemed like I came all the way out here for nothing, going back and never getting on Broadway.
I know how you feel, kid, but think of the experience you'd be getting. Think what it'd mean to be taught dramatic art by Mr. Thorndyke.
My boy, after you've received the benefits of my experience in the theater, then, and only then, will you be ready for the Broadway theater.
Maybe you're right, Mr. Thorndyke.
Where are we going to get the money to get out of here and get out there?
That's one little item we haven't figured out yet.
That would be. About how much will it take?
I should say that $400 would see us through.
400? Yeah, and a couple of $1 million would buy the Flatiron Building.
Well, you wired Jeff Wilkes that we're taking the 510 out of here in the morning.
On what?
I'll get the money. I don't know where, but I'll get it. It was so sweet of you, Mr. Jeffries, to send me those flowers. Oh, but I did intend to call you before. Well, you see, I had some bad news the other day, and I just didn't feel like seeing anyone. Of course I want to see you. Tonight? Why, yes. Yes. I'll meet you there. Goodbye. You've been awfully kind. I don't know what I would have done if it weren't for you. That operation will save my little brother's life.
We won't say any more about it. Well, that's nothing to what I'd like to do for you, if you'll only let me.
I don't know when I can ever repay you.
Forget about it. Can I go upstairs for just a little while?
At this hour? I should say not. Mrs. McTavish would have a fit. Good night.
But I will see you tomorrow.
Well, I'll give you a ring. No, you give me a ring about noon. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Who's there?
It's Sally.
I'll be there in a moment.
Can't you hurry?
Coming, my child, coming. Coming, my dear.
Pack up your toothbrush and wake up the others. We're catching the 510.
How did you do it, my dear?
I borrowed the money for my little brother's operation.
Ah, your ingenuity is inspiring.
But we've all got to pitch in and pay it back.
Of course.
Here,
You settle with Mrs. McTavish. I've got to do my packing.
Well, who's there?
It is I, J. Talbot Thorndyke.
Why, what do you want at this time of night?
I come to pay your pound of flesh.
Well, couldn't you wait until the morning?
When you greet the rosy dawn, madam, I and my associates will be on our way.
That wasn't the worst show that ever came to Kansas City, Joe, and I never hope to see another.
Where do they go from here, Jake?
That's for the next town to worry about.
Oh, I know what he means. Her name is,
Say, there comes an act, folks. So this is Cactus Center.
Ah, what simple beauty. Pure, undefiled nature in the raw.
Yeah, well, I'll take mine well done. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I guess you know who we are. The Bonton players themselves, straight from Broadway. Introducing myself. Certainly. Did I forget you?
How do you do, madam?
Anyone else?
That one. And how are you this most beautiful day?
The breath of the West.
Yeah, and he don't do nothing for it either.
You must be the star of this company. Every Bonton player's a star. Why, Miss Sally Sunshine over here.
Of Storm and Sunshine. I'm Storm.
And the Tupper twins.
I'm Ernie.
I'm Eddie.
And last but not least, that great Shakespearean artist, Mr. J. Talbot Thorndyke. A little applause, please.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen?
Ain't you got any acrobats with your show?
No?
Well, I like the acrobats the best.
We have tumbled my man, but not that far.
Can anyone direct us to the theater?
You go down to that corner. Turn to your left 1 block and you're there. But there ain't no use of going. The theater burned down last night.
You make an unseemly jest, my good man.
Are you joking?
You bet I ain't. The Gem Theater's been a landmark in this town for 30 years. But today, there ain't nothing left of the ground.
Oh, we can't tell you how badly we feel about this, because we were just counting on seeing your show. It just seems too bad that this thing had to happen.
There comes Mr. Griswold now.
How do you do, sir? How do you do?
Oh, Mr. Griswold.
How do you do, sir?
Folks were telling us that your theater burned down. How did it happen?
When I can prove how it happened, it will be the first time the law has caught up with my enemies.
You don't mean to say somebody burned it?
I mean just that. I'm sorry that I can't reimburse you for your trip here, but I am broke.
Gee, that makes us all broke together.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about us, Mr. Griswold. We're used to taking it on the chin. But we're kind of sorry for you.
Well, where do we go from here?
That's just it. Where do we go?
Yeah.
Is there a first-class hotel in town?
Yes, but you're not going there.
And pray, why not?
Well, the last troupe was here, snuck out in the middle of the night, and stole all my towels.
That's entirely uncalled for. May I ask you all to be my guests while you're in Cactus Center?
Oh, that's so nice of you, Mrs.
Mrs. Tinkham.
Oh, how do you do, Mrs. Tinkham?
Ah, so you run the boarding house.
Mrs. Tinkham is one of our prominent citizens. Her ranch is one of the oldest in these parts.
Well, I'll be. And all the time I was thinking, well, that's just it. After all, I guess I'm just a hooker.
A hooker?
Yeah, lady, buck and wing. A dancer.
Oh.
Madam, did I understand you to say you wish to offer us the hospitality of your ranch?
It would please me very much to have you accept.
It would give us great pleasure, I'm sure.
Oh, that's lovely of you. Thank you
Fine.
so much.
You do your own cooking.
Yes. Oh, Bill, are you scheduled to leave right away?
No, ma'am. I'm going to stay over 2-3 hours.
Well, will you take my guest over to the ranch for me?
I'd be glad to.
Oh, thank you. That's all right. Now, you get right in with
Well,
right
I
over the ranch.
I want to talk with you again, Mr. Griswold. You see, we're sort of in the same boat. You've lost your theater, and we've lost our job. Maybe we could be of some help to you.
I'm afraid not, my boy. You don't mind if I say that you don't remind me of an actor? I would be more apt to say you were a Westerner.
Thank you. I consider that a compliment. That's just the character I portray.
So?
Breath of the West. I'll see you later.
Well, goodbye, folks. Goodbye. Get over here. Well, there's the actors, but no theater. What are we going to do about it, Dad?
What can we do?
Oh, but you know who did it.
Knowing and proving what you know are two different things, my son.
Oh, Sheriff. Well, what have you done about making an arrest?
Well, I wired in the next town to keep a close lookout for those two tramps that was here yesterday.
You know as well as I do, Sheriff. It wasn't those tramps that started the fire. You know who did it. Only he's got you buffalo, just like he has everybody else in this town.
Who do you think you're talking to, you insolent little pup?
Now, son,
John, your boy's fixing for me to put him in jail.
Well, that's all I'd expect of you.
He's a little hot-tempered, Henry, but he don't mean to be smart.
I'll have him curb his tongue or he'll get himself in trouble.
I told you this morning that I saw Jim Watson hanging in front of the theater before the fire.
Son,
now leave me alone, Dad. Well, why don't you ask him what he knows about the fire?
You can't make accusations like that without some proof.
You can't, Sheriff. But I ain't so particular about the letter of the law.
Now, son, come. You go back to work, yes. Come now. Yes. He's a little excitable, Henry, but he's a good boy.
He's an insolent little pup.
Don't you say that about that. Stop it, I say. Stop it.
Will you please say grace, Mr. Thorndyke?
Our Father, we thank thee for this bountiful repast. And may we invoke your blessings on the good angel who hath so generously provided. Amen.
Amen. Please pass the salad.
That's right. We don't stand on ceremony here. Just help yourself and eat all you can because there's plenty more.
Good bread, good meat. Ye gods, let's eat.
I wish I were as good a cook as you are, Mrs. Pinkham.
So do I, darling.
Aren't you a little previous, Mr. Wallace?
Fresh guy.
Are you an admirer of the theater, Mrs. Tinkham?
Ever since I was a little girl. Well, I remember seeing Eben Forrest play Hamlet.
Perchance you remember Horatio. I had the honor of playing Horatio to Horace Hamlet.
You played with Eben Forrest?
Oh, he's too modest. Forrest really played in his supporting company.
Now, I think Mr. Thorndyke could make a remarkable Hamlet.
I don't know about that. I never saw him make one.
Make what?
An omelet.
Jake went out a-hunting one moonlight shiny night. Spied a big black possum way on the side. Went to the house to get an axe, then he began to chop. Said, look out, children, down below. There's something going to drop. Well, Violet Possum now. Violet Possum, big and good and brown.
Wait, something's happened. Billy! What's the matter? Oh, what's the matter? Bring over there.
How did it happen?
I run into Jim Watson, and I told him that I knew that he did his dirty work, and that he burnt down my father's theater. Then he drew on me, and I gave it to him.
Oh, this here now. What is the meaning of all this?
Mrs. Tinkham, I'm taking young Griswold back to town with me.
You are not going to lay another finger on that boy. You've done enough to him now. Oh, why did you do it?
Why, he shot Jim Watson without ever giving him a chance.
I don't believe you.
Where's your gun?
I lost it.
I don't want any argument with you, Mrs. Tinkham. I'm saving the sheriff a trip to come out and get that boy.
Oh, no, you're not.
Be careful, partner. He's tricky.
Don't worry about me.
Well, then it's a showdown. Because I'm going to get him.
Oh, you are? Well, come on in. All right, Mr. Jeffries. You and your friends can put up your guns. Put 'em up.
Well, I'll be...
Me too.
So you're the bunch of hams that just blew into town.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Yeah, the idea.
Mrs. Tinkham, we seem to be playing Santa Claus to this gyp outfit. You feed 'em when they get here, and it's my money that brings 'em here.
Why, I don't understand.
Perhaps the sweet Miss Silas Sunshine could explain.
You're a poor sport, Mr. Jeffries. I borrowed that money from you, and I promised to pay it back.
I've heard that before, you little...
Now get off the ranch and stay off.
Thanks, Ted.
Just a minute, Mrs. Tinkham. Do you believe what he said about Jeffries burning down that theater?
Well, I wouldn't put it past him.
Well, why would he do it?
Well, he's been Mr. Griswold's enemy for years. They were partners at one time. And some people say they split because Jeffries was so crooked. And then the theater burned down.
Well, do you think he'd burn it in order to get even?
I wouldn't put it past him. But you can't prove anything on it.
Well, why doesn't somebody do something about it?
Because they're all afraid of him. He just about runs this county. He has his hand in everything.
Well, this is one time when he overplayed his hand. This is going to be a better show than I bargained for.
Will you excuse me now, and I'll get things ready for the doctor.
Ted, I want to explain something to you.
All right, let's sit down.
It's about Jeffries. You've made me feel pretty much ashamed of myself that I didn't tell you before it wasn't just an old friend I borrowed that money from.
Well, you didn't have to worry about telling me.
But I couldn't expect you to understand. I knew what Jeffries meant, why he was so anxious to let me have that money. That's why it didn't seem wrong to take it and forget about ever seeing him again. But we just had to have that money.
Of course we did. Now, don't you worry about it, honey, because I'll see to it that Jeffries gets it back.
You've been awfully nice, Ted.
You really think so?
Yes, congratulations.
We'll be there with bells on.
Thank you. It is this young man's idea. His friends are donating their services.
Whoa, Jeff, you're going to take a show in?
Yeah. But I don't think it's going to amount to much, John.
No? Well, if you don't think you'll like this one, maybe I can put on one that'll suit you better.
As I was about to say, John, you can put me down for a bunch of tickets. I'm glad to do anything I can to help. We need the Gem Theater in this town.
But this town don't need you, Gus. You've been running things with a high hand, haven't you? You think you're beyond the law, that your men can shoot down my boy, and nothing's to be done about it.
If that fire-eating kid of yours had learned to keep his mouth shut, he'd stay out of trouble.
Well, I'll take the kid's place, because I think I understand your kind of language. I'll put on a fire-eating act for you.
Thank you, my son. You think you can shut every man's mouth, don't you, Gus? Well, you can't shut my mouth, because I'm not afraid of you. I'm going to talk.
You're crazy, John.
And what I've got to say, I say before the whole town, with everyone to hear. At that gathering tomorrow, I am going to tell why my theater was burned down and who burned it.
That should be very interesting.
Yeah. Don't miss it. We'll be expecting you.
Good day, my friends.
Good day, John. Good day.
Hello,
John.
Come on, mate. You're going to see the greatest aggregation of Broadway players that ever hit the stage. Don't fail to see it.
Well, what are you going to show us?
That's what you pay your good money to see.
You ain't heard nothing yet. Hey, I hear you fellas are putting on a show tomorrow night, huh?
Don't miss it, feller. It's good.
Good? Anything we do is good.
How do we know it's any good?
Listen to that guy. Why, you're talking to that whooping team that ever hit Broadway.
Why, we stand them on their heads.
Oh, that's good, huh?
No. Hoopers. We
Oh.
dance.
I suppose you play the piano, too, huh?
I'm a Paderewski.
And dance?
Say, you ain't never seen a bucking wing till you see us.
Well, come on and let's play.
Huh?
Come on, let's play.
And dance.
Come on. Come on.
Listen, would you like to have a sing for
No, dance. Come on.
And put your guns up. Now take a little walk. Looks like you got a pretty good lesson. Let's see what you'll learn. Come on, Ernie, strike up a little tune.
Hey, you can't get away with this. Come on, dance. Come on, dance.
Wait a minute. You're terrible. It looks like all you need is a little more practice. You better come back tomorrow night and get another lesson. Come on.
We'll be back, actor. Yeah, we'll see you later.
I don't understand why Mr. Grizzle didn't come to supper.
Oh, don't worry. He's probably delayed getting things ready at the theater.
Oh, Bill wanted to see him so much.
We'll bring him back with us tonight.
Oh, now, Jimmy, you watch over him, won't you?
Well, now hurry up or you'll be late.
Oh, we'll be there in plenty of time.
Violet possum down, violet possum big and good as brown. Violet possum down. Won't we have a good old time? When the possum
Oh, I wonder what could have happened to Mr. Griswold.
In the back.
Jeffries?
Who else? He said that Jeffries wouldn't stop at anything to shut a man's mouth.
That won't prove he did it.
No? Well, I can prove it. How game are you to play a role like you never played before?
What's on your mind, my boy?
A trap.
to bring Jeffries to the end of his rope.
Hey, I wonder where John is.
Oh, he'll be along pretty soon. You know, John wouldn't miss it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for your presence here tonight because you're paying tribute to a man you all know and love. The man who put Cactus Center on the theatrical map. I refer to Mr. John Griswold. We know you're here because you want to see the Gem Theater rebuilt. And we're all mighty glad to do our part to help the cause along. So this company of distinguished artists will present for your approval Justice or Nature's Nobleman.
The cows are all milk, Mr. Goodwill.
Ah, Toby, I would that my persecutor had the milk of human kindness.
What you talking about, Mr. Goodwill?
Leave me, Toby, leave me. Ah, what heavy heart is mine. For today I must sip the bitter cup of sorrow. Hark, someone comes. Whoa! 'Tis he. Good day, Mr. Goodwill. You are indeed early, Mr. Barrington. You come to mock my misfortune? Ah, then am I to understand that when the clock strikes 3, you will not be in a position to take up your agreement? Alas, there is no hope of appealing to your intelligence. Ah, I cannot let sentiment intrude upon generosity, sir. Or business. If you are not in a position to pay the mortgage at 3 o'clock, I shall be forced to foreclose. My old gray hairs don't count.
You ain't got much left, Mr. Goodwill.
Boy, my horse!
I don't like you.
Ah. It will not be long ere I go to my last sleep on yonder hillside. Oh, you can't be so cruel as to ask your pound of flesh. Not cruel, Mr. Goodwill. In here beats a heart as human as any man, and I lay it humbly at the feet, the altar of my devotion to your daughter. And rest assured, when Miss Nell marries me, her wedding present shall be her father's mortgage. My daughter's affections are her own, sir, to bestow where her heart dictates. Here comes Miss Nell now.
Father.
My child. Good day, Miss Goodwill.
How do you do, Mr. Barrington? Am I intruding, Father?
Ah, no, on the contrary. I'm most anxious for a word with you. Alone.
You may speak freely before my father.
If you will be so good, sir, I will await yonder. Courage, child. Courage.
You must spare my father. You must spare him.
Ah, then you will marry me.
I must think. Please, leave me alone with my son.
As you wish. But I'll return shortly for your answer.
You hurry. Are these the old man's houses?
That's right, Ernest, my boy, that's right.
Alas, what bitterness is mine. The birds warble their happiness, but there is no song in me. What shall I do? Abandon all my happiness for the sake of my poor father? Or shall I marry the man I love? Hark, 'tis he. How can I face him?
Oh, no!
No, John. You must. This is farewell.
How fickle is woman. How can you so easily forget that night when we plighted our troth beneath the blissful moon? No cloud overshadowed our happiness then? Alas, the clouds of darkness shall overwhelm me now.
Do you think it's gonna rain, Mr. John?
No, Toby. No.
Your words torture me. But alas, there is no other way. I must marry another.
Who is this man who has robbed me of your affections?
No, no, John. My love will always be yours. But I cannot marry you. Please, I beg of you, ask me no more.
Who can this be? Aha, so it is you. Miss Goodwill, I have come for my answer.
Stop. You shall not marry him.
How dare you?
He has another wife.
What?
I'm discovered. His name is not Barrington, it is Wattleborough. He is the man who deserted my sister.
She's alive!
Here is my sister's locket with his picture in it. I have looked for him all these years. You cannot deny the evidence that your eyes behold?
Here, give it to me, I say!
I am powerless.
Help! 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 Help!
Now the tables are turned.
Now I'm in his power. Well, what are you going to do?
Give you your just desert.
No, no, John. You must not do this. Think of yourself.
I am thinking of my sister.
Then, for her sake, you must desist.
Your tender plea touches me. Thank her that I spared your miserable life. Now be gone with you, before I forget myself.
Very well. I shall go. But when the clock strikes 3, I'll return, and you, my proud beauty, shall yet be mine.
You are truly one of nature's noblemen.
My darling, all is well, and nothing but truth and righteousness shall prevail. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start the next act, we will entertain you with a little variety. Buck and Wing.
I'm Buck.
I'm Wing.
Oh, you never spoke to me like that before. Come and snap those old fenders once again. Once again.
Mr. Thorndyke, how'd you do it? How did you fix your hair?
Don't forget, my boy, there are tricks to all trades.
Come snap those old fenders once again. Out in the new moon day, I'll be waiting day by day till you snap those old fenders.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue with the program, I think you'd like to hear a few words from Mr. John Griswold himself. Is Mr. Griswold in the house?
Hello, John. How are you?
Right up here, Mr. Griswold.
Thank you. My friends, first let me say that from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank these artists for their services this evening. That the Gem Theater may be rebuilt. And rising from its ashes, it shall stand as a monument to the determination of you good citizens. Not to be bullied and abused any longer by the lawless power of Gus Jeffries and his filthy gang.
Thorndyke, why did you do it?
Did I play my part well, my dear?
Your greatest performance, you old trooper.
All right, Jeffries. You played your last act. Now you've got a booking with the law. Get up. Go on, get going.
About to join these couples in holy wedlock. Mr. Wallace, Miss Sunshine, Mr. Thorndyke, Miss Dinkum.